But like I said, it looks very different than what we've done in the past. The last thing I have would be at the end of October is the annual or semi-annual time change. We always promote check your fire alarm during time change, check your batteries. We always also promote, the city has a program, the fire department has a program where if you cannot afford or cannot locate a battery for your smoke alarm, fire alarm, you can call the city 268-4510, which is the fire department number, and they will provide you a battery. If you can't afford or cannot figure out how to install your smoke alarm, that same number will get you a smoke alarm and somebody out to install it. They are the #1 safety measure of saving lives in house fires, no doubt about it. There is no controversy in arguing that. The fire alarm and the battery program are both programs that are as requested, and they're donations. So if we ran out of batteries or if we ran out of smoke alarms, it's just not a never-ending program. But I do know that we will go out and install them, or we'll provide batteries to get them installed properly. If you are a renter, you need to go through your landlord. That's a little different. But if you are a homeowner, we will take care of that for you. With that, Anna or Scott, I don't have any other things. I'll entertain any questions.
So are you able to at least like Zoom in or do anything with the kids in schools? Have you tied in any?
I can tell you at the station level, where I'm at, I am not doing anything. I know our prevention bureau is. I think they've got meetings probably scheduled every hour with as many elementary, because the elementary schools are in session. So I bet they are got Zoom meetings scheduled every hour or with these elementary schools to try to get the message out the best they can. But at the station level this year, I am not having any participation in Fire Prevention Week. I've always enjoyed, I think we all kind of enjoyed going out to the schools, and we usually carry the message with us and with some prevention folks from our prevention bureau and show them the truck, show them bunked out, have the message, read a story, whatever it might be. But that has went away this year, unfortunately. But we're making do. We're still having it, and I think our prevention bureau folks are doing the best they can. So yes, they are doing Zoom meetings. I am not here at this level. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Scott.
You bet. Thank you. All right, next up, Gentry Deason. With some updates on parks and recreation. You're on mute.
Okay, here we go. Yep. Sorry about that. I'll restart. I'm casting from my phone tonight. I couldn't get my computer going. So just generally the same stuff that we're always looking at. The tennis center at Riverside is really moving along quite nicely. And they're pouring the new courts and replacing another one and then planning the expansion now. So I would recommend that you guys drive by and take a look at that. That's really exciting, the progress going on there. There is a survey online right now through social media and emails sent out to Park and Rec users about a park and open space survey. We'd love to get your feedback about just generally how you use and what we can improve on in our parks and open spaces. We will be sending out a recreation specific survey in a couple months, but right now, as we're catching people at the end of the summer and the high peak season of using the parks, we're hoping to get some information about how people are using those. There was a pickleball tournament last weekend at Riverside Tennis Center, which had a really great turnout. We're hoping to do more of those. Immunizations are still going on at Evergreen, and we're hoping to do an event, a one-day event with KU later on next month or this month to really push those immunizations for school-aged kids. And then forestry and maintenance, one of our staff members there was planning to meet with the Benjamin Hills and Pleasant Valley Neighborhood Associations tomorrow night to discuss the tennis courts at, let me pull it up here, the tennis courts at Columbine Park They mentioned wanting to convert the courts into pickleball courts. Currently, there is no CIP targeted for improvements in that park, but that's something that we can look at in future years. The futsal court has been completed at Evergreen. We converted 2 tennis courts into futsal courts. And as the mowing season is starting to slow down, we will be reducing those mowing cycles. But as the weather is staying unseasonably warm right now, things keep growing, and we will keep our presence up at your parks. And that's what I've got for you. Happy to take any questions.
Got a quiet crowd tonight, so you get off the hook easy. Okay, no questions, so we'll keep moving along. All right, Sean Jones with the Wichita Public Library is up next.
Thank you. To get started, I'm going to talk about a few virtual programs that we have coming up at the library that we think a lot of people will be interested in. One of the most popular books read this year has been Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. So if you've read that book, we encourage everyone to sign up for the third Tuesday's book discussion, which will be on Tuesday, October 20th from 1 to 2 p.m. It's a virtual program on Zoom, and you can find the login information at wichitalibrary.org/events. And then we also have a really cool program coming up on Saturday, October 24th. Our business librarian is going to bring the Small Business Administration to the library for business planning for nonprofits. So if you work for a nonprofit or have thought about starting a nonprofit, this is a great program for you to register for. He'll take you through the Foundation Directory Online, which is a free database we have for library customers, where you can go and find thousands of grants to apply for if you're a nonprofit organization.
And when is that?
That is going to be Saturday, October 24th from 1 to 2:30 p.m.
And I'm sorry, which library?
It's going to be online. So
online. I'm sorry. Okay.
It'll be a Zoom program.
Okay.
So when you register for your Zoom programs, we'll send out an email the day before and the day of with all of the Zoom information, so you have everything ready to go.
Thank you.
And one other thing that we're talking to customers about right now is the elections cycle. Our election's coming up here in a few weeks. Voting in elections are vital obligations for a functioning democracy, and your Wichita Public Library has resources online. We have a website called Becoming an Informed Voter, and we've pulled together all the information about the election process, about current election issues, and who your candidates are for state and federal offices. So if you visit wichitalibrary.org and go over to research tools, we have a whole web page devoted to voting. And our staff members also want to let everyone know you can review a sample ballot for the upcoming election right now. If you visit myvoteinfo.voteks.org/voterview, there's a lot of V's in that URL. You can find a sample ballot that's based on all of your registration information. Looking forward to November. November is Kansas Reads to Preschoolers Month, which is an initiative aimed at promoting reading to all Kansas children from birth through age 5. Through this statewide program, parents, librarians, and caregivers are encouraged to read the chosen title to their young readers. This year's selected book is Ruby Joe, Ice Cream and Dinosaurs by Eric Litwin. He is famous for the Pete the Cat series if you have any little ones at home. The cool thing about this year's book is if you're a library customer, you have free access to a subscription called Scholastic Bookflix. This book is available through Scholastic Bookflix, and you can watch the book, you can read the book online. Great free resource that the library has for everyone. We are putting together virtual programs for Kansas Reads to Preschoolers, so that information will be available at the end of this month. And finally, if you're an avid Big Read participant, you would know that right now is typically when we're in the middle of our Big Read program. But we have decided to go virtual and postpone it so we have some time to prepare for our upcoming program. So the Big Read Wichita will be January 9th through February 21st, 2021. It'll mostly be virtual, and we're going to have tons of great programming based around this year's book, which is Circe by Madeline Miller. Big Read participants can also be part of the virtual kickoff, which will air on KPTS Channel 8 and on the library's YouTube channel, by recording and submitting a video sharing their favorite things about past Big Reads. You can visit bigreadwichita.org to learn more, and those video submissions are due at the end of the month. And that is my library report, and I will take any questions.
Any questions for Sean? Sean, what's the status of replacing Cynthia?
So we have an interim director right now. Her name is Christy Dowell. She is our customer services division manager. Her primary role is overseeing all of the branches and our circulation department. So she's serving in the director of libraries role right now. I think we are going to open up the search towards the end of this year, early 2021. And hopefully by March or April next year, fingers crossed, we'll have a brand new director of libraries.
Any other questions for Sean?
I see that someone wants the link for the voting ballot. I will send that in the chat right now.
And I will go ahead and post that for those viewers that we have on live on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, not hearing any more questions. We'll keep moving. Let's see. So next up is we're going to do an overview of the community policing in the communities. So I don't know.
Scott,
Officer
we do have,
Widener?
I'm sorry, Scott, we do have a public agenda.
Oh.
And this time we need to ask anybody who's here from the public that has any off schedule item agendas. Does anybody from the public have any of agenda items that they'd like to speak on?
Anna, I'd like to just kind of share that the North End Historical Society has requested use of the building behind you there, the Nomar, to be a place where we could have our kind of set up our historical society to kind of save some things and some archive items that we have. We've been doing interviews and things like that on the history of the North End. We thought it'd be a good place to do that sort of thing. It's small, and but we have requested that from the City of Wichita Parks and Recreation. So we haven't heard back yet anything, but so we're kind of working on that.
Okay, anyone else public agenda? Hearing none and seeing a lot of mute symbols. We'll keep going. Community policing. Who's tackling this one?
I can go ahead and start if you'd like. I'm Chris Chrisman. I'm the community policing officer for the Old Town area on South Side. I think that probably the best thing to do is just to kind of explain what we do on a daily basis. I see Officer Widener from up north is also on as well. You can jump in anytime you need. So in addition to answering 911 calls, we do that, but we're not necessarily 911 driven like a beat officer. We do a lot of the crime analysis, look for crime trends. If there's, a bunch of cars getting broken into in a specific area, that would be us to go out and get in the weeds of that problem and see what kind of solutions we can come up to, whether we need to flex our hours and come in as a community policing team to address those crimes, or we coordinate with our overnight counterparts that are actually in working at that time. We'll give that information to them, and then they do the enforcement for those crimes. Other things we do are we attend nearly all of the neighborhood associations and all the DAB meetings, and provide community stats and different projects that we're working on, as well as we hear the problems of the community and relay that to our beat teams. Well, it's my turn. I'll go ahead and just give my report for the South Side. Really, all of my crimes have been about even. Ag battery and robbery, they're down 5. Auto theft was up 1. Where I really saw an increase, and I kind of expect it with Old Town opening up, my larceny from autos. I've had about 5 more cars than normal broken into. I attribute that to there's more traffic coming and going in Old Town, so I would expect that, and it would encourage make sure we're not leaving anything valuable in our cars. The South Side, this is actually on District 1, but it's really only Washington divides the two. I've had kind of a rash of vandalisms where I presume kids are throwing rocks through windows. And we've started working with that, and I just reached out to a couple of businesses to see if we could get video of them. I also, the South Community Policing Team, we just did a special assignment last week. We had some reports of kind of aggressive panhandlers in the Old Town area, following people around. We did a special assignment to kind of address that, and I think that really those folks that were doing it, they had told us, or we'd heard from some other people that they were just moving through from California out to the East Coast. So we really didn't see anybody aggressively panhandling. So we took that opportunity and the time to go down mostly around Kellogg and the Central Business District exits where you see a lot of the panhandlings, to do some enforcement of traffic ordinances down there, as well as do some outreach with those folks. Officer Sweetall from the HOT team asked me to relay that the overflow shelters will be opening up November 1st. He's on vacation. Normally I go to DAB 1 and give him the report for you guys, but since he's gone, I'm filling in. So with that, I'll take your questions.
Hearing none. Okay. Officer Widener.
Hello, I'm Officer Widener with the Wichita Police Department. I'm the 49 beat community policing officer. Don't have a whole lot. One thing I have noticed recently, seems like there's been an uptick in burglaries and larceny from autos, people breaking into cars up around the moorings and Harbor Isle, kind of up in that area. I haven't had a chance yet to do any follow-up on that, see if there's any videos or anything. Just noticed by the crime stats that it has seemed to go up recently in the last few weeks. I was down last week, but again, for the month, I think it's been up. Graffiti, again, if you've driven around at all, you've seen it. I was able to kind of curb the Latin King graffiti that we had going on. We were able to get a couple guys in custody for that with some great video. I'm telling you, video works wonders anymore these days. So now I'm just working on, looks like the SIRS and PFLs and VLBs are tagging it up. So that's going to be mine and Officer Soto's project the next couple days, is going around and documenting all that and putting that in to get cleaned up. It's definitely an eyesore. And I kind of feel, I keep telling people I'm chasing my tail. Every time I get it cleaned up, it's tagged again. So if anybody out there has any video or knows of anything, please, please, please let me know so I can go after these people. That's really, oh, Northside. I wasn't really on District 6, but Northside did a special assignment that I was a part of last week for the shoplifts, the large shoplifts. I think it was on the news last week. We were able to get about $13,000 worth of stolen product back after doing a search warrant on a house. That was a big deal that we worked on last week. So I was kind of busy on that. Turned out very, very well for the team. But that's kind of all I've got. If anybody has any questions for me.
I'm glad you raised the graffiti thing. They're on 29th, and it's Lucas Garage, which is no relation, but I watched the building because it's, it's my name, but
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I actually had somebody call me on that one today, and it'll be on my list first thing tomorrow to take care of.
Any other questions?
Did somebody report the graffiti that was on the car wash 21st in Arkansas?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I saw some yesterday. I couldn't think of where. Okay.
Is it on the outside, the brick?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they know about it. That first stall on the first one, I guess, the furthest west one, the whole inside was graffitied, and I think they've painted over that now. The last I looked, it was anyway. And they were still working on getting a power washer or something to get that brick off the outside.
Thanks.
I have a question. This is Angela.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why we don't have officers? Well, I know you guys are busy, but we have a lot of like racing down Arkansas.
Okay.
And
Like
I'm sorry?
like where? What 100 block?
Like between I think it's is it a 17th or 18th Street bridge and 21st? I mean, it's just out of control. I bet if you sat there daily, you would catch somebody daily.
On Arkansas between 18th and 21st.
Mm-hmm. Right, like in front of St. Patrick's Church.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's just out of control.
Time is it like weekends, weekdays, night? Like what?
Mostly the weekends or the evenings, but mostly the weekend evenings. It's like everybody just lets loose on this street, and it's mostly trucks, young kids.
You know, about what time in the evenings? Normally, it's generally a rough.
I mean, there's really no set time. They're not racing. They just like driving really fast.
Okay.
Somebody knocked over the telephone pole and some other things just, I think, over the weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that and let Officer Soto know too. That'll be his area, but I'll relay the message.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
So-
Okay.
One of the things that we're really pushing to do, particularly after the city council had talked about really increasing the community policing, we really wanted to reach out to the community and just ask, is there anything going on in your neighborhoods that we don't know about? Is there anything that we're not doing that should be doing? And is there anything that we could be doing better? So really, I think that's one of the reasons we pushed to get a larger time slot on the agendas. So with those three questions in mind, I would love to hear any input that the citizens had.
Who wants to go first?
On that note as well, if you have a neighborhood association meeting that you're a part of or you run, especially on 49 Beat, can you please let me know so that I can start being a part of those if you guys have meetings? I'd like to be there.
Anna, do you have those contacts? Maybe that would be a good connection. I don't know if just to be active to email them.
Yeah. She sent me a list. I don't know if it was up to date or not. I can't remember if it was up to date, Anna, but
We have a list that we update on a yearly basis at the beginning of the year, and as of right now, that is up to date. However, a lot of the meetings that neighborhood associations were having prior to COVID, they stopped meeting. There's a few of them who are meeting online or are having in-person meetings, and that's something that we're going to be updating here shortly. City staff's gonna be updating those and see who is having those meetings online virtually, or if you're having limited in-person meetings. So as at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year, we'll have that 2021 neighborhood association list updated for District 6.
Hey, Anna.
Yes.
You're muted. You muted yourself. You're muted.
I'm sorry. How about now? Anna, can you hear me? Yeah, put me on that list for neighborhood association meetings. We usually normally attend those also, and we have not attended any since COVID hit. And if there's virtual ones going on, let us know and we'll be happy to attend.
Yeah, of course. We'll try to get that updated as soon as possible. We're also working, we have the 2021 District Advisory Board meeting calendar for the 2021 dates, and that includes the District 6 coffee dates as well. So and as soon as we have that all ready to go, we'll send it out to everybody. But yeah, definitely we'll go ahead and get that updated and see if we can hear from those different neighborhood associations in District 6.
And I know like mine, we haven't even met. I mean, it's still nothing. We have board meetings and that's about it. Back to Officer Chrisman's question. I can just tell you my own personal experience. I live across the street from Columbine Park, and there was some shady stuff going on, and I just reached out to Officer Johnson. Got a really quick response the day I reached out, and he kind of walked me through best actions, and best actions for what I had was whenever I saw anything somewhat shady to just call 911 and have them deal with it. And so I did that, and that was probably last fall. And the shadiness has stopped. So no more weird cars at weird hours for 3 hours at a time. So, I mean, I would just encourage any DAB member that just to reach out, email. The best result that I've found, at least from my personal experience, great reaction time. So I don't, I didn't expect that. I know you guys are busy. I thought, well, 48 hours, 72 hours would be good. And he actually got back to me that day.
And I would say that obviously you can email your community policing officer, but 911 is probably the best resource, because I know Officer Widener, and I get a report every morning of any case that's made on 21 Beat. So, if I see an address where several cases, or an area where several cases are being made, then, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, if you will. But you know, when I see a crime trend developing, then that's what gets the resources.
We do have a comment on the chat from Amy. She states the North Riverside is having online meetings. Next meeting is in November. Not on the board, just follow the neighborhood association.
The other thing that I've seen quite a bit is the Nextdoor app. I don't know how many are using that, but it just seems at least to be a good network out there as far as connecting neighbors. I know that's a little bit different to connect using social media or a type like that to connect. But if you haven't joined, most of the neighborhoods are participating in that. I see a lot of Indian Hills and different places, people posting things, but at least I bet probably every other day there's a heads up for larceny or loose pets or anything like that. So would encourage you guys to check into that if you haven't already.
I do have another suggestion. So usually we, Vice Mayor Claycomb holds a monthly coffee, the District 6 coffee, and that's held on the third Saturday of each month. Right now, we were having those, we were meeting at the Y prior to COVID, but right now those are held virtually. That is another a possibility for community police officers to join those meetings. We do have residents who join us for those. And a lot of the times, if you want to provide a small update as to what's happening in District 6 and just open it up for residents who are attending those coffees for questions, those are usually just an hour long. And I'll be glad to send you the links to those meetings if you guys are wanting to attend those. Those are Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Any other feedback on community policing? Anyone have anything to share? Anything from the community members that are on, not necessarily DAB members? Anything to share on community policing?
We do have a Facebook comment and they're wanting to thank you. It says, thank you, WBD, for your service.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay. Well, hearing no more, I think that will do it. Anna, I don't see anything else unless you've got some updates, issues, reports that you need to pass along.
I actually do have something that I was wanting to report to the DAP members and District 6 residents, and this is from Bike Walk Wichita. So October is also known as Walktober, and they're wanting Bike Walk Wichita would like Wichita residents to join them as they step out this month in celebration of Walktober. Walks exploring Wichita parks, murals, and neighborhoods are scheduled for Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. To find a list of the different walks, you guys can go to www.bywalkwichita.org/Walktober. Additional walks are being added regularly. In addition, you can also add your own walk to the calendar. So they have a calendar where you can keep track of where those walks will be happening. The activity of walking is truly the easiest activity that can be done to improve a person's health. It decreases the rate of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, and depression. These benefits can be seen by walking just 30 minutes a day, 5 times per week. Whether you walk alone or in a group, let's get walking. And I'll go ahead and post that link as well. If you guys want to go ahead and join them in their Walktober.
Any comments, questions on Walktoberfest? Is it a fest or is it just Walktober?
It's just Walktober, that's correct.
Walktober. Okay, any other items, Anna, specifically for board updates, reviews?
Not from my side, unless any other DAP members have anything to report within their neighborhoods or any events that are happening.
Benjamin Hills Pleasant Valley is tomorrow.
All right, no, it looks like everybody's being quiet today.
Do we anticipate a mid-month meeting?
No, we don't. We don't have a mid-month meeting, so the next meeting would be held November 2nd at 6:30, and we would be sending out an online link later this month attached with the agenda.
Okay.
Probably everybody's trying to get to the game. The Chiefs are playing right now. That's why they're quiet.
Okay, then I guess we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you coming.